X and Y.
X and Y. Oof.
Now this one I know people have hated. I'm gonna say right now I'm saying above Black and White and C. That's where I'm at right now.
All right, all right.
There was I don't know. It's been so long since I played X and Y. I'll be honest. I'm trying to remember everything about it. Um, I they introduced the fairy typing. That was the big thing. We got a new typing after so
That was good.
long. we finally got a new
Mhm.
typing because what was it before? Was it Dragon?
Dragon
that
was
one?
the best type,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the newest type.
I'm sorry. I was
It
trying to
wasn't.
think.
It was the first new type since Gold and Silver.
Yeah. So it's been a long time. We finally got the fairy type, which I would say it definitely that increases it a little bit on my scale. Um, story wise, the villains I wasn't too like thrilled. And they were kind of to me. It just kind of seemed like they showed up every once in a while, and then he
This
had
game
like the
was
big.
begging to have a Z version.
Yeah,
100%.
it definitely was.
Yeah.
It desperately needed that third game to it. Um, but yeah, I'm like above Black and White and C. That's where I'm standing right now. Thoughts, concerns?
Um, I think like playing through these games, there's a lot of like variety in scenery,
Uh-huh.
which is like really nice. It feels like an adventure, which is like what they were going for, I hope. But they want me to care about these rivals, and they want me to care about this evil team that
Yeah.
is like I feel like so shallow and obvious.
There was too
I think it's
much.
better in X. Yeah, I think it's better in X where like instead of because like Yveltal is like the death Pokemon, but Xerneas is the life Pokemon.
Mhm.
So in Pokemon Y, Lysander threatens you with killing you, but then in X, Lysander threatens you with eternal life, which is like such a crazy threat.
Hey, you get to live.
But yeah, but I think these games needed another year. I think they were the first mainline games in 3D, which was like really cool.
Yeah, right.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, they were kind of like undercooked. Like I said, the rivals, the evil team, um, like there was like 90 new Pokemon if you include Megas, but if you don't include Megas because they're not even you can't even get them in the main game.
Yeah.
You're only at like 60, and then people say like, oh, because there were so few new Pokemon, they really honed those. Like at least like the few new Pokemon were well designed. Okay, yeah, whose favorite Pokemon is Slurpuff? Okay,
Yeah.
who's I don't
Aromatisse.
know.
All the fairy types they introduced were just.
Yeah,
They had a fairy gym
and,
leader,
like,
and it wasn't anything.
oh my, yeah. I don't know. I feel like X and Y has the capability of being really good, but I feel like it dropped the ball on a lot of
Mhm.
in a lot of places. I would put it under Black and White, in the middle of C tier.
Okay.
I can agree with the low C tier, but I would honestly personally put it in D.
D. Okay.
They got the Pokemon pretty good, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I actually liked about the game is
Well,
some of the Pokemon.
I do want to. It's what Nick said. The Mega Pokemon. That was like the big thing in X and Y. They were like Mega Pokemon, and it's like here's you, Lucario.
That's it.
Good.
Oh
well,
yeah,
you got
and the games are like so easy, but they hand you the megas that make it even easier.
yeah, and you also got. Didn't you get the Hoenn Mega, right? Was that in?
Oh no, yeah, Hoenn Mega as well.
No.
Or
If you
Kanto Mega.
if you
Kanto Mega.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's what
handed
it
you a
was.
Kanto Mega, but
Yeah.
if you got the game at launch, they would get you a Torchic with a Mega Blaziken.
That's what it was. Yeah. I got the game at
Yeah.
launch. That's why I was thinking. But yeah, that was it.
Mhm.
So you also had kind of like an overpowered team in a way to start.
So, but
so-
yeah, I would put it in D, honestly.
So our average
fine
is
with
about
D.
here. If we go with what everyone said, that's about our average.
Honestly, I'm fine with a little bit lower since
You're
we're
fine with a
talking.
little bit lower?
I feel like a lot of like the good qualities of X and Y are like, yeah, they're good, but
Yeah. I have no problem putting in D. I do like Kalos, but yeah, the games they were the first game on the 3DS. They needed more. They needed a little bit more time to them.
And that's not
They were
including
good.
all the areas they didn't complete.
They were great for like the YouTube battling scene, which is really cool. But
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. S. Nick.
I don't know, guys. They don't have the Battle Frontier.
S.
But they got Megas.
Yeah.
They do have megas, yeah, and you can use like a lot of megas throughout the main game, which is like really cool.
You could have
The
a
po-
whole
the,
team of megas.
what is it? The Poke, what is it? What is it? The on the bottom screen, Pokenav.
Oh yeah, Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
Pokenav was really cool. I love soaring.
Yeah.
Soaring
You
was
also
so
could
cool
get
too.
all the legendaries
Again, they
between the
came
two.
back to Hoenn and did it right.
Yeah, they did
The,
everything
the
right.
remixes for the music is also like really good.
Yeah, and again, like what we just said before, also a good game on YouTube to do online battles and stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
I would put it above.
primal forms are also a really cool thing.
Yes, those were also very
What
good
is?
too. Primal
The
forms.
primals.
Oh yeah. Awful for competitive play, but like otherwise,
Yeah.
really
I
cool.
I would put it above platinum. I'd say that's the top tier S for me.
Yeah, I can accept top tier
I
S.
see a lot of people like sleep on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and I think it's like entirely because it doesn't have the Battle Frontier, which is like a fair complaint. But it has like the post game too, like
Oh
the
yeah,
where they unmythicalized
the
Deoxys
Delta
and
episode.
Delta episode, yeah.
yeah.
They did so like I don't even care about if people have complaints about it, I'm like that it was too good. It was there's nothing you can complain about with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I
I
like
think
it
they're
too
the best
much.
remakes.
Yeah, they did so well in it. All right, here comes Hater Brandon again in this one. So Sun and Moon, I'll succeed if so need be, but I'm only going as high as C.
You're only going as high as C with Sun and Moon.
Yes,
I would put it at least a low mid B.
really.
The
Sun
only
and
thing
Sun
I
and
hate about it is the constant cut scenes.
That's my complaint for only as high as C. Too much story.
But it's an RPG.
uh,
RPGs have story.
that's too much story. None of the other ones had it, and they were good.
um,
Also, I just
yeah.
really Alola's region. I just wasn't a fan of a lot of the Pokemon. They This is where it starts to get like some of the Pokemon get a little cartoonish, like actually like big cartoonish to me, and I'm just like, none of them stood out to me as like, oh, that's a cool Pokemon.
Oh, I love Nagana Dell. That was in the Ultra games.
Yeah, that's not this one though. Wrong
Nagana
game.
Dell is also like an absurd like design, so I know like that appeals to me a little bit
Yeah.
more in that regard. Um, Sun and Moon, I think, um, this is when because there's so many Pokemon games. This is when they started making the games more like focused and like thematic, I suppose.
Yeah.
So like it was, Hawaiian.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a shift.
Yeah.
I think like I played through the games. I played through the Ultra games recently, and it has its own identity, which I think is really good. I honestly also the totem fights I think are really cool, and we kind of got them back in Scarlet and Violet in a way.
Yeah.
I think that just like Black and White, they were ambitious, and because they were ambitious, they don't really like appeal to everyone in the same way that the other Pokemon games do. I think there's like very little post game.
Yeah, there's not much. That
Wait,
that
no,
comes
Battle
don't
Tree was basically it in Sun and Moon.
No, there's also the Ultra Beast stuff is like
Ultra
expanded
Beast
on.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's expanded on in the Ultra games.
Yeah.
I think it's better in the
The
Ultra games.
the post game is more for the Ultra games, I would say, if anything.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't know because like the cutscenes are a feature of the game. Is it like a bad game if it has cutscenes like that? I think it'd be better if you could skip them and then watch them later if you wanted to.
See, that's not. It's not so much that the cutscenes were bad. It's just that it just felt like it was so long, and it felt like when I was playing it, all I would do would just be hitting A, and I would still be in a cutscene. Like it just felt like they needed to speed it up or somehow.
I remember trying to play this at work during my breaks, and it wasn't until I got home did I even get halfway through the cutscenes to get my first Pokemon.
Oh boy!
Now,
yeah,
I will say, to Nick's point of the totem Pokemon, they did do something that I like, and that's for more of like us, the older generation of Pokemon, is that they felt a little bit more competitive. you got a little bit more of a challenge with those totem Pokemons. Like when I replayed, I replayed it like one time. I think I was getting Pokemon and stuff for my 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 big Pokedex. And I was like, man, these are actually like super difficult. So I will succeed a little bit to that, where I did feel nice to play a little bit more of a harder Pokemon game. It's just those cutscenes really bring it down for me. So I would say I will raise my meter up to low B before the Kanto games. Low B.
I cannot in good faith put these above Black and White 2, so I'm fine with middle B.
Carl, where was your ranking?
Middle B.
Middle B. Okay, so we're probably you guys are like between gold and leaf green.
Sure, yeah.
So
Sure.
we're about right, probably right there.
Crystal.
Poor
It doesn't have
Crystal.
Mareep.
It doesn't have Mareep. It goes down. It goes down. That's all we have to say. All right, the Ultra games. I will say that they are better than Sun and Moon. You get a little bit more post game with it. I'm gonna treat this kind of like Black 2 and White 2, where I think it's less than Black 2, White 2, but I think it's more than Sun and Moon. So I'm okay with putting this before Black 2, White 2, like right before. But
I would honestly put it at A.
I don't know if I can go A. But then again, it's an average.
These games, because like I'm making a video on them coming up, but
Hey, no promotion, no promotion.
They've got like all of the boss trainers and some of the mini boss trainers, like random trainers on the routes. They have min-maxed IVs. These games and like really good AI, and like that along with like the buffed totem fights. These games are like among the most difficult Pokemon games, 100%, and
for multiple
I gotta
reasons.
like respect it for that. Yeah.
I also have a story about playing Ultra Sun and Moon last time that is both great and sad. I went into our area where not Garchomp, the form before it.
Gabite?
Gabite?
Gabite, yes. So a Gabite spawned. He called in a friend. It was a shiny one.
Oh no.
The SOS.
I take out the non-shiny. The shiny one calls an SOS, and it's another shiny.
No.
Oh, no.
Can only have one.
I could only have one. I had
crazy.
2 shinies spawn for me, and I had to kill one.
That's crazy that you got one after the other, though. That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
The odds on that is.
Or after. Yeah. Did you have the shiny charm yet?
No, I did not, because I was actually replaying it to go catch some Pokemon that I forgot to catch before I started playing Sun or Sword and Shield.
That's
So it
crazy.
was just purely there to catch Pokemon.
That's crazy.
Dang.
Sad time. But also, it was great. I'll put honestly between Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire.
I think I would put it above Ruby and Sapphire.
All right, so we're like.
Here. I know, Brandon, this is gonna hurt you, but
it doesn't hurt me that bad. I was not as Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is the one I really replayed. I don't think I replayed Sun and Moon too much. It was one of the two, but it doesn't hurt me too bad. Because
Gladion's theme, they improved How's storyline.
Because Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was Rainbow Rocket, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that was all the bosses.
So much fun.
So that was pretty good too. So I'm not upset about it. I put it high B. So our average out is about right there, low A.
Also, speaking of Rainbow Rocket, I'm gonna make one last prediction, and also a first prediction of I don't think I've made any anyway. Rainbow Rocket's coming back in Legends Z to A. That's my prediction.
We're not there yet.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Spoilers.
That's yeah. Sorry.
All right, let's go Pikachu and Eevee.
They're the prettiest Pokemon games. They're the best looking Pokemon games.
Best looking games, best follow Pokemon. You put it F? I put it at high A.
High A.
Whoa, Carl. Whoa.
I replayed that probably the most out of all the Switch Pokemon games.
I barely got through it. I barely wanted to finish the game. I only did it because it was a Pokemon game.
I got the Pokeball remote or controller. I can just lay back, hands behind my head, relaxing while playing that game. I'm having a great time.
Now let me preference my side. I got the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Switch. Like,
Yeah, you did.
I got that one, and I'm saying F tier. There
Yeah,
was
those
nothing.
Joy-Cons didn't look that great.
There was nothing about the game that appealed to me. Like I only finished it. Like I literally started it and I was like, man, this is kind of boring, and I stopped playing it. And then I came back to it because I was like, I guess I should finish it just because it's a Pokemon game. But there's nothing that wanted me, like, I didn't want to sit down and play it. I would have rather played pretty much any other game rather than go back to that. I would
Nah, we
play
got
even the ones I
Meltans, we
hate.
got Megas, we got.
It is
You could beat the game with a level 10 Beedrill if you got enough candies. I
I
loved it. It
I
was
didn't.
great.
There was
That's
nothing
cool.
about it.
Oh, shiny hunting is good.
Oh, it's a great shiny hunting.
But like, honestly, I don't even mind that it's like a little easy. I also, by the way, I think the catching mechanic should have stayed as an option if you wanted like a better chance at catching it.
Yeah.
Pokemon, if you were good at throwing, I think
Yeah.
that should have stayed. I think the hate was like overblown, but it's fine.
The motion controls were not the greatest, though. Sometimes you throw a
There's that.
Pokeball and it would just go completely to the right or completely to the left, and you're aimed straight center.
Honestly,
That's true.
playing time hearing, I don't see why it shouldn't be a.
Okay.
You just like chaos.
It has there's less content than Fire Red and Leaf Green, a game that came out like 15 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in the post game, you can't evolve a Golbat
Mm-hmm.
or an Eevee into Espeon, or there's no Sevi Islands.
But you got Megas.
Yeah, but like, what are you
Carl's
doing
really
with the
pushing
Megas?
for this. Carl's really pushing for this.
You got Megas, you got the best following Pokemon ever. Like, even in the newest games, the Pokemon don't
Yeah.
follow nearly as well. It's not nearly as horrible frame rates as some of the newer ones.
Well,
All
it
the
didn't. It
Switch
didn't
ones-
really have to do much.
No, it didn't. But I don't know. I didn't need to. I don't need to complain about it. You could ride your Pokemon in this one.
You could
You
do
could
that in X and Y.
fly.
You could ride Pokemon in X and Y.
Could you?
You could ride a Skidoo.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah,
about
in like one route.
But you could do it. You could fly in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
And that game's S tier.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is this needs to be S tier.
No, that was actually a good game.
I would put this under Fire Red and Leaf Green, even though there's some qualities that I like more than Fire Red or Leaf Green, like the visuals, but
Crazy.
Okay, so I think based on Carl, where are you at in A? Let me preface.
High A. I mean,
my god,
high A.
Over Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Carl, I just
Oh
want to
my gosh.
I want to preface this. You would rather play these two games over all of these.
Yes.
You're saying you are coming close to playing these two games close to these three.
Like, I would never put it in S tier, but it definitely belongs in high A.
Okay, so you're right here. Okay, Nick's here. I think just based off of Carl's, it puts it like here.
Oh, because you put it in F, yeah.
Because I put it in F. I'm saving this ranking, if anything.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness it got above green. That was a close one.
I think pretty much you just have to put it above green. Because it's the same game, but you could actually play it. Yeah, well. Nah, you live and you learn. It could have been, it needed more. Okay, Sword and Shield.
I assume this includes the DLC.
Yeah, we'll include the DLC. Yeah. Sword and Shield as a whole. Everything that it was included.
Low A.
I think the DLC saved it.
DLC
the base
definitely
games are
saved
pretty. The base games are pretty like underwhelming. They were by the books.
Yeah.
Like, they're like a B game.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that they were the first Pokemon game on a main console,
Yeah.
like bumped it a little lower, unfortunately.
Crown Tundra definitely like super saved it.
That saved it. Because honestly, gameplay wise, I remember the main story about the same as I do with X and Y, which isn't really much at all.
Yeah. Crown Tundra
oh my
definitely
gosh,
saved
the main
it.
story. Oh. Yeah, Isle of Armor was also like pretty for the game.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd say above Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
I love the Pokemon designs. Honestly, Sword and Shield, like if I were to rank like an entire region of new Pokemon, I think like at the top would probably be, or among the top would be Gen 3. But
Mhm.
I think Sword and Shield would also be up there for me,
Yeah,
just because I
it's
like a lot of the new Pokemon.
yeah. They didn't really do too bad. They were pretty good for the newer generation.
And also like the Kanto bird forms, the new Regis. I really like that.
Yeah,
Mm, It's really the DLC could have been its own thing for
yeah.
this.
The base game was
Yeah.
all right. It wasn't terrible, but the
Yeah.
DLC bumps this up so far just because of how good it was.
Honestly, I almost feel like we should have a different ranking for the DLC.
I mean,
Right.
we could. Here, why don't we say the shield or sword is one and shield's the other? Because then I have to put in a whole new image, and I don't feel like doing that.
Nah, let's just keep them conjoined.
I think
Yeah,
I
for
think it
now
makes I think it makes sense just to give them conjoined because they were one game. They're all under
Yeah.
Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's all one
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, you can't play the DLC without the base game.
Yeah, so it's all one thing. So it could have hurt it. It could have hurt it, but it didn't. It helped
Oh,
it.
one thing I really don't like about Sword and Shield is like when they interrupt the champion tournament, and then you have to go on this like, oh my gosh, like with Piers distracting like other people, and he's like, I'm singing, but
Oh,
there's
I think I know what you're talking
no
about. Yeah.
like there's like no
Oh,
song, and then you go on the elevator in the battle tower, and it's like even though it's like supposed to be tense, it's like do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do. It's oh, I hated that.
And the
I
villains, they
don't.
didn't have villains really. Their villains were
no,
Yeah,
there was no real villains.
the Chairman Rose, they could have like done something with it, like oh he's
Yeah.
an evil CEO, but they
Yeah.
didn't like
He
do
wasn't an
enough.
evil CEO. He was just I'm
He's
trying to save the
crazy.
world in the worst possible way possible.
Yeah, it wasn't that
hmm
bad.
But would we put this above Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon?
I think I would just because like base game wasn't horrible. DLC ramped it up so far for me. I would put it
It
above it.
honestly tied in my book.
Here, we'll do this. There.
There you go.
Tied.
Hey, no. Let's switch that because I played Shield.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Same. Wait, we all played Shield.
Yeah, we all played Shield.
Yeah.
All right, BDSP.
Okay, so for BDSP for me, I honestly like I would just put it above Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, same.
I agree. Yeah, I
I
agree.
I don't know if there's really much to say about it. It's just like they just fixed some things they didn't have in Diamond and Pearl.
The games are a little faster.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, like they have the underground, which lets you get a little bit more of the platinum
The
decks,
the
which is
underground was
good.
more than what it was
Yeah,
before, so.
and the developers, I don't think they were allowed to change like the teams of the gym leaders,
Mhm.
but they made them competitive,
Yeah.
and so the gym leaders and the Elite Four were like pretty difficult,
That's one thing we didn't
relatively.
talk about though. Like Cynthia, hardest champion.
Oh, yeah.
I think she was the hardest champion for a while. I don't know if I.
Are you saying Leon? Are you saying
I
it's
think
harder than
honestly, if I replay Sword and Shield, the main reason is just so I could play through 30 hours so I could fight Leon again.
Or are
fun.
you
'Cause
saying Scarlet and Violet's champion? Now that's a
No,
tough one.
they're
Well,
not
not Gita, not Gita, but I have a lot of opinions on Scarlet and Violet, but we'll get there. We'll
Oh,
get
yeah,
there
we'll get
soon.
there.
BDSP should have been way more than it was. I heard it was only developed for like a year and a half, which is like a crazy small amount of time.
To be fair, I mean it's just like they came out. It came out on the DS. They're like, well, let's remake it, and they fixed the things that they really needed to fix, but it wasn't anything more than what Diamond and Pearl was.
just enough to
BDSP
be above the
exists, so
original.
Legends Arceus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that statement. BDS exists because
Well, yeah, because Legends Arceus does.
and we'll move on to
Yeah,
Legends
it's-
Arceus.
S.
S.
I have never. I've only played Legends Arceus the one time. I don't know how replayable it is,
I have
but it
not
was a
done
very
much
fun
of it.
experience, and I love the story.
I have not replayed it per se. I've never like gone in there and shiny hunted, which it is pretty good for shiny hunting. Um,
Oh yeah, the sound. Bling!
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that
ding.
was great.
I don't think I can put it in S though. I think I'd have to go A.
I also have not replayed it, honestly. But
Carl, I'm beginning
I
to wonder your opinions on things here.
I just loved it. I don't think there was a moment playing that game I did not have fun.
I did have I had trouble with it just because control wise, sometimes it was super annoying to get the lock on, to get like the right stick, and some of the things where I think it's just like Switch. The problems with the Switch itself is like it's a Nintendo console. It's never gonna be good. It's a Nintendo console.
You both got like oh it was so weird how the credits rolled after the Dialga or Palkia fight when there
Mhm.
was still like so much more to do. Did you
Yeah,
guys get to the Arceus at the
yeah.
end? You did,
I did
right?
all of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I really like the build up for that too. Oh, the Volo stuff too, the Giratina where like it's
Oh,
round
See,
3 and he
oh
like
god.
it had good fights in it. Like it did good in that realm. The new forms
mhm.
were pretty good. I didn't really have much problem with them. Samurai one was kind of meh.
Like, the only difficulties I had in the game was when I got ganged up 1v5 and such.
Yeah,
But,
I don't.
like,
But I
even
like that could happen.
yeah, it was so fun. I was like, "Oh, this is a cool challenge. My Pokemon are so high level, they're doing great."
For
Um,
me with Legends Arceus, I would say probably. I would say probably above this realm, but I don't think I can go above Hoenn personally.
really,
I think I'd stay.
I
I'd
would
rather play Hoenn.
I would like I said, I put in S. Like, I haven't replayed it yet, but it doesn't mean I won't. I actually been wanting to. I just haven't had time.
I've been planning on it as well, yeah. I would put it me personally at least above Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay, so you're like here, and you're pretty much the middle ground here. So you win.
Yeah, I mean like it's
I don't
Legends
think I can
Arceus.
play with Legends Arceus like over and over again, which is my criteria mainly for S.
Well, Brandon, you got a storm coming because the Legends games are here to stay.
I guess so. But S for me is like grade everything, replay it all the time. I don't think I can do that with Arceus. I think I get too bored
Hmm.
too fast.
I don't know if it's, but I feel like Legends Arceus is like so different where I don't know if it's necessarily designed around getting replayed. Like, how many times have you guys replayed? Oh, what's a good example? Oh, what's a good example? Okay, I can't think of anything. But how many? Maybe it's one of those games where it can't. It's not supposed to be replayed. You know, I've only played uh Telltale's The Wolf Among Us one time.
Mhm.
No, actually, that game has a lot of
Well,
replayability.
okay,
Never mind.
I'll say this
Yeah,
about
but I say that has multiple branches. What are
I'll
you
say this
talking
about
about?
Arceus. It's like maybe you want to replay it like maybe on a different profile, but the same profile, I don't think you want to get rid of it because I think the main purpose of Arceus was to build the journal, you know? Because you have to
Yes.
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
have to recatch everything, you know. I don't think it's necessarily made to be replayed on the same profile. If you play on a different profile, then that's one thing. But I don't think it's meant to be like, oh, I'm gonna get
Like,
rid of my save file and start over.
I think
I
that's
agree.
also a good point, though. Like, instead of replayability with all the other ones, Legend of Arceus specifically, it's just meant to be played longer than all the other ones.
Yeah, but then that
It,
also hurts it because
yes and no. Like, catching
sometimes you
is a
don't
lot
I
want
of
to
think
fun in
play.
that game.
Yeah.
I think the only way like it truly hurts it is having the credits roll before you see Arceus,
Yeah,
and also get like the whole Volo conclusion.
Yeah. I think where we have it's probably a pretty good spot for it though.
I'd put
That's
it a little
fine.
higher, but yeah, I can accept it.
Carl, we're starting to take away your rank your ranking privileges. After Let's
Man,
Go, we have to talk about some things afterwards. Okay. We're gonna move on. Scarlet and Violet.
see.
S.
Now we're gonna take away your privileges too, Nick.
If it weren't for the fact that it had to run on the Nintendo Switch, which is 8-year-old hardware, which was like 8 years old by the time it came out, it would be like if the performance was a non-issue, like best boss fights,
but
so, like best DLC, which is not a whole lot to
but
go off of.
look, can I offer a counterpoint to your S tier?
Best storyline, and there's like 7 of them.
Can I offer a counterpoint?
What?
Would you rather do adventure dens or terra battles?
I don't really care about either, to be honest.
But that's a
Oh,
part that's a part of the game, is it not?
I
You
mean,
got you
it's
got to think
an
about
optional
that,
part.
but you got to think about it. Well, it's not optional. It's not optional in Scarlet and Violet. You
Well,
have to do
I
Terra
think like
battles. You're
the
forced
totem
into it.
battles, the totem battles are or the guy. What is it? That's not totem. It's
Titan.
Titan battles. They do both. That is both of them better, even though there's like fewer. Oh, but the Terrapago stuff, the DLC. Oh my gosh, you can
I
catch the
still
starters and
can't.
shiny hunt them.
But
Brandon, you could
unfortunately,
shiny hunt the starters.
but I can't shiny hunt the legendaries. That was a big problem. I don't care about the starters. I can do that in any game.
How many times have you shiny hunted legendaries
And
by
Sword and
now?
Shield a lot.
There you go.
Do you
You got
remember
your
the
fill.
Cresselia?
Oh, so now every Pokemon game has to be the same, huh?
I mean, I just want consistency. That's all I ask. But but
Oh,
to your
that's why you
point,
don't like Legends Arceus. You hear that, Carl?
exactly. That's
Get him, Carl. Get
exactly.
him.
What the hell, man?
Hey, cussing, cussing.
But that wasn't cussing.
That is a considered language.
He was talking about the location.
That's even worse. But yeah, I mean, so Scarlet and Violet is a good game, but the performance and when it came out, it does come into a factor where it's like, man, this sucks to play. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and take the performance out as much as I can because of the fact that it's not the game's fault that it's on old hardware. It's not its fault that it got released on old hardware, but it is a
Mhm.
big problem of it. I won't go as low as
That's
C.
fair.
I'm in maybe high B area, maybe as low A, but a high B
In,
is where
in
I'm at.
in my opinion, I think because of like the three different storylines, all the Area Zero is so cool, and then like the DLC and then the storylines and boss fights with the DLC, all climaxing to like the cutscene with Terrapagos and with like the Kira and stuff. I think these games, in my opinion, are even though they're huge, I think they're the most replayable Pokemon games.
I could see
Actually, I think it's because they're so huge is why I don't want to replay them.
that.
It's just too much for me.
Hmm.
It's like,
Yeah, I've
oh, I
heard your
want to
opinion
go.
on how many.
I want to go do this gym battle. I want to go fight this Titan, and I can just skip this whole area just to do that.
I will say that's one thing that I didn't really like about it is that like I like to impose like level caps on myself. And it was very hard to do that without looking up like a specific mapping of where I should go.
Oh yes, some of like between the gym leaders and the Titan fights, the
Yeah.
level caps are like one level difference. I mean, well, you could just do like the level cap of the gym leaders then.
Yeah, but you see, I just don't want to go into a fight and be like, "Pow," and then I'm just out here and I'm like, oh, I didn't enjoy that much. It was just I just won.
Well, you know,
Also,
Brandon, some people really enjoy XP management.
Hmm. You weren't this hyped
another
about
thing
other
though,
games.
Scarlet and Violet's the only game I had to deal with it constantly crashing on me.
I don't think it ever crashed on me. I did get stuck once, which I didn't like.
It crashed so much.
Nick, didn't you
I
get
was so
didn't you
mad.
get stuck in like a crater?
Um, one time, one time I was like on one of the ruins, climbing with Koraidon, and I was like upside down for a second, and the game didn't know what to do, and like
Yeah,
and my screen started like violently shaking,
yeah.
and then I just dismounted, and I didn't even think of that at first, but
Another point for like the games as well is Paradox Pokemon, which was introduced in Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet's Paradox where I played Violet. I had Violet, and I will say Scarlet
I'm
had
so
better.
sorry.
Scarlet had better Paradox. Violet was just like it's like they took one name and they just chopped off the second half, and they're like iron this, iron this, iron this. I'm like, well, Scarlet has all these new names. Like they're all different. They're all
So
I
original.
think
I actually will say for this one, I would now that you mentioned some of these things, can we put Violet at C and Scarlet at B?
I think for the sake of for the sake of keeping it consistent with everything else we've done, we have to keep them together. It sucks that
Okay.
one brings down
well,
the other,
Because I think yeah, Violet brings down Scarlet.
but at the same
I
time,
agree.
it's like
Scarlet is better.
I at the same time they're the same game. It's like you can have both. You can have them both in both games. We can't like discredit one because it was released in that game. You can have Violet Paradox in the Scarlet just because they originated in it. I don't think we can Because you don't need the Paradox Pokemon; they're just an option, and it is something. But I don't think we can.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? Violet probably like brings itself back up to line with Scarlet because it has better clothes.
Does it? I don't pay attention.
Oh, the
to
purple
clothing.
outfits are better than the orange ones. I will
I'm not
give
a
it that.
clothing guy.
Well,
Okay, so let's
you got better clothes.
let's rein in the rankings here. So Carl,
I guess final say would be below Fire Red Leaf Green.
okay, so you've come up to B. Nick,
Yeah,
S.
I'll accept some margin.
S. Okay,
S.
so we're about like here here in this realm. I would give it high B, low A. So I'd say I would want it a. I would say I want it below Sword and Shield, but I'll give it A.
Would that leave it in A, or would it leave it in high B?
I'm gonna give it to low A. Because I'm so basically I'm the middle ground here. Carl said middle B, you said S. I'm essentially the middle ground here.
I can accept a low A if it's the average.
The only
I don't
reason
want to.
I would say
Oh.
Sword and Shield over is just because of I'm thinking of the Adventure Den versus Terra battle,
Oh,
and I would rather do the Adventure Dens. That's where like the thing comes into play here. That's the only thing that I can differentiate very well with the two. Because man, they made a mistake in the Terra battles.
I think the Terra battles is just another symptom of the performance, to be honest.
It could be, but the turns
And
sometimes
like the net code, the Nintendo net code. Oh,
all right. We ranked it. We don't need to go. So this last one is actually going to be kind of a prediction for all of us. We played one Legends game. We know that it's Kalos. We know that it's Z. It's essentially Pokemon Z. Hopefully better than that though. But Pokemon's Legend ZA. Where do we think this game will be in the grand scheme of mainline games?
so
well,
I'm basically
it's probably going to be a
seeing
Switch
it-
2 game.
Yeah, might be a higher performance console game.
So
but
we're already here.
Yeah,
Right,
it'll probably
right here.
be somewhere between Legends, Arceus, and X and Y, just because it's still Kalos, so we're not sure how it will be, but it's a Legends game.
Right, yeah.
Well, Kalos's problem wasn't like the region or like the characters necessarily, like their existence. It was the execution.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like time crunch because it was the first 3D Pokemon game. But like with Legends Z to A, Game Freak should have like they've had ample time on HD consoles, open world, etc., etc.
Right
I
now,
think it should be high A.
right now,
They're
I was
also
gonna
talking
say
about a smaller map size, so I don't know how we feel about that.
No, I heard it all takes place in the city. But I mean, if it's a fully realized city like GTA or something, then I think that'd be fine.
Oh no, not GTA.
I don't know how I can handle a GTA Pokemon game.
The only thing I'm going off of right now with it is that I think it has to be somewhere next to this Legends game because we don't know too much, but they are taking the time to make it, which is nice. Which means it could go above the first Legends game. But then it's also like not a lot of people really like Kalos per se. So maybe it comes back down here, but they could focus on the war part of Kalos, which would be interesting.
Oh, they don't have the guts for that.
But yeah,
Well,
that's
the war was like 3,000 years ago. That does not look like a city from 3,000
you
years
don't know.
ago. You know
It's just but that's modern technology simulating the war 3,000 years ago.
Oh, whoa.
So I'm between like just one of these two spots. I think that's the right place for it.
That's fine.
For a prediction. I'll give it the higher just because they're taking some time to make it, which is nice.
So now that we have a completed list, does anyone think anything should be moved now that we see it in its fullness?
I'm completely okay with S.
Yeah,
I think like
that.
S is. I think it's hard to add more things to S when we have such differing opinions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Like-
the only one I heard out of S was from you was Scarlet and Violet. And that game you even know can't go in S just because of performance alone.
Okay. I'll just like load it up on my Switch too, and then we'll all agree, I guess.
Then if it comes back and it's on and we can play it on Switch too and it works fine, then I will I will come to the dark side. But right now, no.
If they remake Scarlet and Violet and name them Orange Scarlet, Grape Violets,
Oh
I
my
I
gosh.
don't know how I'll feel about this.
No. They wouldn't even have to. It was just like a hardware thing. They'd be good. Kind of like how people played on ROMs. Anyway, is X and Y the worst ones?
Yeah.
I think so.
Honestly, I would even put them down at F at this point.
No, we can't. I don't think we can go that far.
Um,
If we're not letting Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee go in F, nothing's going in F. I'm making that a statement right now.
what if both me and Nick say Let's Go should go in S?
Yeah.
Well, then it's only going to
But
move
average it
up
out to an A.
It averaged out to a BC. S and F. Well, I guess we have two S's, so it would be like high BA.
Do it, Nick. Say it's just to mess with them.
No, we're honest. We're honest rankers here.
Honestly, I feel like this list is like pretty top heavy with A and B.
That's why I was trying to like kind of go down. But I mean, honestly,
Should we move like Crystal, Yellow, Red, and Blue to C?
If we do, let's bump Green down to D.
Yeah. If we move these three, then this one has to move down. I feel like too. But I feel like I feel kind of bad for it because it's just like it's not its fault. It's just it wasn't. it wasn't these.
It didn't exist for us.
Yeah, it wasn't these. So we'll move them down.
Yeah, it's in D tier because it wouldn't enter my life.
Is it still above X and Y, or are we putting it below X and Y?
It's still above X and Y.
Okay.
Oh,
Dang, poor
gosh,
X and Y.
Crazy.
Are we gonna keep no Marie Crystal in B, or should we move it down as well?
Put it in F.
F? Okay. Sorry, Crystal. No Marie? No problem. You're got it here.
The animations.
Okay, fine.
All right, screenshot it, put it on Twitter. No.
Okay, but Crystal for real.
Whatever, sure.
Yeah.
I think if we put the other three, I think Crystal goes down with it. I don't think we can.
Yeah.
I think it's got to go down too.
You know what? I'm fine with Sun and Moon down to tier 2 if we have Ultra games in A.
You're fine with it going to here, to C,
To
or
C.
in B? To C.
If you guys want.
I felt like maybe Sun and Moon was an okay.
I
think it was
think
okay
it's
for
good
B?
where it's at.
Low B.
Okay.
I think. I again, this is like picking hairs. We're just picking anything out here. We're just nitpicking at this point. I think it being a low B is completely fine.
Yeah.
Because then we'd have gold and silver lowest B, and I feel like it's a little bit higher than low B.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good low B stance to take.
I think this is as good as it's gonna get with the two of you.
Well, okay.
Oh, hey, no.
I think we had one problem here.
Yes, you guys not liking Let's Go.
I think this is actually for what it's worth with the three of us. I feel like it's a pretty decent list, honestly.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just mainly happy where the S tiers are.
Yeah, S tiers was definitely. I feel like they were obvious.
They're obvious, sure, but like.
I don't think I've seen Aura in S tier in other tier lists.
I don't understand that. That boggles my mind.
So crazy.
I also don't think I've ever seen BDSP over Black and White, but that's okay.
I could go back to. I probably will never go back to Billion Diamond Shining Pearl. I'll be honest.
If I go back to BDSP, it'd be for like the challenge, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's a 1-to-1 remake of Diamond Pearl in general. So like, to me, they're going to be in the same spot where Diamond Pearl are, no matter what.
I think we did good, guys. I think we did good.
Yay!
So
yay!
Right here, why is that so disappointed about?
Scarlet and Violet, my beloved. Oh, I guess just Scarlet. Never mind Violet. Put Violet in B.
No, we already discussed this. We're not doing that.
They're right next to each other. It's fine.
No, we already discussed this. It's not happening. They go together. They are a together game.
We need to make it clear. We need to make it clear that
Scarlet's better. No. You want to keep arguing? Huh? You want to keep going?
It's okay.
But yeah, I feel like this is pretty good for the most part. Three people's opinions boiled down into one. You guys out there on the YouTubes, if you have any other opinions, feel free to share them. We love hearing opinions. We'll
Yes.
try and respond to them. Tell us we're wrong, because I'm sure that's probably people will have
I think
opinions.
this was like a feature length film. This is I think how long have we been doing this? An hour and a half?
We're almost to 1 hour and 25.
Oh, close one.
Oh wow.
I kind of figured these would be long videos anyway. That's okay. Gets the people.
No, I think this is the longest. The video games are pretty heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, so just be on the lookout. We're gonna probably upload, I think we have maybe 6 total of these rankings as of right now. We might do some other rankings maybe. But be on the lookout for our channels. I'll put links in the description for everybody else's channel and the videos to their tier list that we do. I'll put this picture on my community tab so you guys can see our rankings there too after the video's release.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. I might put this link as well if you guys want to make your own and share them as well. So I don't even know where they could share
Heck yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video though. Definitely a lot of controversial picks. The other two.
Alrighty.
That's gonna do it here, guys. I want to thank you all for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Bye bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.